Okay, wait. Okay, you're on, but I'm trying to like rotate it, and people are watching, so just talk.
Hi! People watching?
You can't turn your phone while recording, but it was turned.
It was
already.
turned, okay.
Okay, who cares? Let's just do it this way.
Hi, folks. Kim has a robot hand that is holding her phone, and that's how this is happening right now. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Staci. I'm the curatorial assistant here at the Center for Sacramento History, and I have a really cool job. I help with exhibits, I process artifacts in the collection, I paint little numbers on things, I do research, I make labels, and yeah, I love my job and do a lot of really cool random stuff. And one really cool random thing I did this past month was take a deep dive into a celebration that happened in 1922. Our theme this whole month for Archives Crawl was celebrations. And so the celebration we chose was Days of 49. And so we spent a month digging through our collections looking for things about Days of 49, and thought we'd just show them to you today. So come on over here.
Dylan says get it together.
Dylan.
Also, if you have questions, ask, and I'll ask Staci as we go.
All right, so Days of 49, like I said, happened in 1922. What was the motivation for all of this, throwing this giant party? Money. It was all about money. People wanted to bring, the Chamber of Commerce wanted to bring money to Sacramento. We were an up-and-coming, modern capital city. We're working on a water treatment plant, you guys. Clean water, clear water. Hey, we are moving up in the world. There was a building boom. Skyscrapers were going up. I mean, for 1922. And it was a big deal. We wanted people to know about it. We wanted people to come to town and spend money in town. So the Chamber of Commerce, and here are the records, part of the records from the Chamber of Commerce. We have that collection, so how cool is that, you guys? I was able to go through, this is just the minute book from the Chamber of Commerce meeting in 1922, and find, oh look, there's where they start talking about the Days of 49 celebration. Secretary Manager Arthur Service Dudley was involved and came up with the idea. And they had initially thought, oh, we don't really know, May or June 1922. They started planning August of 1921. So here we go. We have a poster. Celebrate Days of 49. This is an original poster, guys. Sacramento, California, May 23rd to 28, 1922. One thing that we should probably tell you is, well, Kim, is there a box or a folder labeled Days of 49?
No, Staci, there's not. That's not how archives are organized.
It's not?
Mm-mm.
Well, dang.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really a hunt, guys. There is no file folder. There's no aisle labeled Days of 49. You have to go through multiple collections to just kind of to find little bits and piece it all together. That's what research is all about. Yeah, so nothing that you see here came from the same place. This is from the Chamber of Commerce collection. This is from another collection entirely. These banners are from 2 different collections. It's bananas, you guys. That's why it takes eons to put an exhibit together and to research things. And people who've written books know this. Anywho, so where was the main stage for Days of 49? Where was it? Well, it was Southern Pacific graciously gave the Chamber of Commerce a little piece of property that had recently been filled in. Now, it used to be Sutter's Lake or China Slough. It was a piece of property just next to the old passenger station. Here's what it used to look like. See that big body of water right there? Yeah, that was gone by about 1919. And and a whole population was displaced, and we do a lot of crazy things in the name of redevelopment, and that's a whole other talk. So we're not going to talk a lot about that right now. But by 1919, it was all filled in. They called it the Sand Lot. So here we go. No more lake. Sand Lot, Southern Pacific. Here's the passenger station from that picture that I just showed you. Right? Now today, what's there today? This passenger station is long gone. Today, what we know as the Amtrak passenger station, that's where that is today, right here. Right? Okay, so, anybody have any questions?
No.
Cool. Okay. Here is a panorama of the days of 49. Now, this main stage was called the mining town. Here it is. We'll talk a little bit more about what was in the mining town in a minute. But we're looking at 2 city blocks of themed insanity. So here are a few more things we dug up from the collection. Here's a publicity brochure that was sent around the country, try to encourage people to come. A celebration without parallel, bizarre, spectacular, inspiring. And as you can see, we have 2 of them. Here's one.
That's all. Question.
Oh yes, what's the question?
Dylan McDonald would like to know, is there an exhibit in the works for this Rootin' Tootin' Good Time?
I love that you called it a Rootin' Tootin' Good Time. And at this point, no, there's not an exhibit in the works.
I think that there should be, we should have a reading room exhibit on this, personally. So
I agree.
There you go.
That would be cool.
One day.
One day, yes. Thanks for your question, Dylan. Where was I? Here's an example of a cartoon that was put in the Bee to encourage people to come. Here's Days of 49. The whole state, guys. Look, the whole state is a-coming.
The state is
Come on, everybody get aboard.
Dylan has another question.
Yes?
He would like to know, why is everything in plastic?
Why is everything in plastic?
Good
well,
question, Dylan.
Everything is in plastic because really it keeps it flat. Keeps it flat, keeps it protected.
Mm-hmm. So it's a preservation thing.
It's a preservation thing. Yeah, it's called encapsulation.
And the plastic isn't bad for the paper?
Not necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
You have to use the right kind.
Sure, of course.
Thanks for the question. These are felt, and I did not take them out of the encapsulation because old felt makes me nervous. It's pretty fragile, guys. So what was it about the theme that was supposed to attract people? They were really pushing the romance of the Days of 49. They wanted to say it was, just a lovely romantic time of people coming to California to find their fortune and seek gold. And we know that wasn't the case. It was a period of disease and just muddy streets, and it was nuts. But they weren't going for a historical accuracy for this event. Yes.
I have a question. Why did they do this on the 73rd anniversary as opposed to the 70th or 75th?
That was a really good question. Yeah. And they did this again in the 30s and the 40s, but it was not to this scale. As far as why now, I really don't know. I know that it was a time of amazing increased development in the city. I know that we wanted money, we wanted to get the word out, but as far as why not wait, I don't know. And they did it again, but definitely, like I said, not to this scale. Some similar events happened in the 30s and the 40s. And our most recent incarnation of Days of 49 happens in Old Sac, or it used to before pandemic days. So, anyway, moving on. Part of Days of 49 was dressing the part, and the Chamber of Commerce really encouraged folks to make their own costumes. There was a costume contest. They put out this poster with recommendations. Anybody who dresses in period attire recoils at this in horror. I'm sorry. They weren't going for historical accuracy, guys. It was cheesy. It was corny. It was mostly good. But let me tell you a bad part, all right?
James Scott, I see your question. Ooh, we're getting there.
We're getting there? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, all this costume stuff, there was a bad part of it, you guys. Now, we can identify, okay, I'm just going to tell you, it's red face. Red face is a problem. It was a problem then, it's a problem now. What is red face? Red face is when people of non-Native American ancestry perpetuate stereotypes by dressing in stereotypical, inauthentic costume. We see this today in sports mascots. We see it in Halloween. Y'all, it's a culture, not a costume. And it's offensive. Don't do that. Here we have a photo of people that are not indigenous. These are not Native American folks. This was a group of men called the Improved Order of Red Men. And they took it upon themselves to dress in costume and pretend to be Native Americans. They marched in parades. So this is a real bad idea, guys. We don't condone anything like this. Now, folks of Native American ancestry were there. They were there. The Chamber of Commerce called up the Washoe tribe out of Carson City, and they invited them to come on down and camp, and they did. I cannot see any mention of them being involved in any of the planning. And you get the impression that they were treated more as scenery than active participants. And that's terrible. Terrible. So just putting that out there. Yes.
I just have a comment from Don Benning.
Hi,
Don. 5-star volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
His father grew a beard for Days of 49.
I'm going to talk about the beards, Don.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
I miss you, by the way.
Anyway,
hi.
Don, if you have a picture of that, we'll need to know that.
Yes, we'll need to know. Okay, so what else do we have in our collection from Days of 49? We have this really neat banner here, or sash. It's not in the best shape. It's ripped at the end there, but that is an original artifact from 1922. Here we have a picture of employees of the D.O. Mills Bank. Now, big companies really encourage their employees to participate in Days of 49. The biggest company in town was the railroad, of course. They had 3,000 people worked for the railroad, and they really pushed participation in Days of 49, so much so that they had their own contingent of Whiskerinos. And hold that thought, I'm going to talk about Whiskerinos here in a minute. Anyway, these bonnets are from 1922. These were part of somebody's costume. And I really tried to mount these on head forms so they look like, a head sitting here wearing the bonnet. But this blue one is enormous. It's huge. It ate the head form. So I just laid them down. So here we have an official souvenir sheet music. There was a contest to come up with the official song for Days of 49. And these folks won. And here's the music. And we have a special surprise coming up later today. So once we're done here, keep looking, checking back in on our Facebook page. And we have a little surprise for you guys. Okay. A little musical treat. Here is an official program for Days of 49, and this is an artifact from 1922, guys. So what went on in town other than the mining camp scene? Well, things were happening all over town. There was a parade every single day. There was a rodeo at the fairgrounds, which at this point were on Stockton Boulevard. There were aerial flyovers. There were fireworks every night. There was a little train ride that you could take. Now, the a historic engine was in town, the CP Huntington #1. Now, trained folks, don't get mad at me for using the wrong terminology. I'm so sorry, trained folks. Apologize in advance. But this was a historic engine because it was one of the first transcontinental engines. I think. Don't get mad. But it's on exhibit right now. It's been beautifully restored. When the Railroad Museum opens up again, you guys go down and see it. It's really, really pretty, super cute, smaller than you'd think, just great. Anywho, here it is, CP Huntington #1. There were little excursion train trips, and you could hop on the CP Huntington and take a little trip around town, and we have in our collection an actual ticket. Special excursion ticket, engine CP Huntington #1 excursions, Days of 49 celebration. How cool is that, you guys?
Stacy, shouldn't you be wearing gloves?
Oh, hey! That is a good question. For paper stuff, it's really recommended that you don't use gloves because you have less dexterity when you're wearing gloves.
You might tear something or
you
smear
can't
some ink.
feel it, and so it's really just recommended that you use clean hands. Clean hands. Now, if I was like touching the bonnets, I'd want to wear gloves. Okay, what celebrities were present at the Days of 49? Oh man, you guys, Tom Mix was here. Tom Mix, celebrity cowboy movie star. We have the original first engineer of the CP Huntington #1. He came down for the event.
Did he drive the train?
He did indeed.
Oh, man.
Captain Lowell Yarex, he was a famous pilot. He did flyovers over the mining camp. Captain A.H. Hardy, who apparently was a champion marksman and spokesperson for Peters Cartridge Company. Ooh. He did some fancy shooting exhibitions. So fun times. So what else was at the mining camp? Let me show you. Here's what you would see. And guys, we just found this picture, so I'm sorry that it wasn't scanned and up this week for you to see, but we can post it again later. Here's the entrance to the mining camp. And, you know, what kind of buildings were there? Well, gosh, there was a dance hall, there were cabins, there was a saloon. Now, guys, remember, this is Prohibition, so they weren't serving real alcohol at this party. There was a phony saloon. There were county exhibits. Neighboring counties were invited to build buildings at the mining camp and participate for award, and there was an award contest. There was gambling, phony gambling using script. The saloons and the gambling were in an area of the mining camp run by the Lions Club called Slippery Gulch. I thought that was pretty funny. What was the biggest part of the mining camp? Well, that was a mountain. Guys, they constructed a mountain out of wood, and they called it Mount Sacramento. What was in the mountain? Well, there was a restroom facility in the mountain. There was a Chamber of Commerce office, and the main ticket office was in the mountain. You could get to the top of the mountain by riding a burro. So here we have, you'd sit on top of your little burro, you'd wind to the top of the mountain, and there was a viewing platform at the top. And you could actually see, I call it Donkey Mountain. I know, I'm sorry, it's not correct, but anyway, you could see Donkey Mountain right there. There it is. And it doesn't end there, guys. There was a waterfall coming down off Donkey Mountain that powered a mill.
Did anything interesting happen on top of Donkey Mountain?
Yes, as a matter of fact, something really interesting happened on top of Donkey Mountain. The Chamber of Commerce put an ad in the newspaper and asked if any engaged couples would be interested in getting married at the mining camp, having a public wedding, bring more people into the mining camp. So a local couple, very young couple, decided, took them up on their offer. They were really swayed by the presents that they were promised. if you said that you were going to get married at the mining camp, you were offered some insurance, a free honeymoon in San Francisco, some furniture, some groceries, and a genuine electric lamp. So, yes, very important. And so this young couple took them up on their offer. Hey, we're getting married anyway, let's go. So, what were their names? Oh gosh. Beatrice Montgomery, and TJ Cox. So B and TJ rode burros to the top of Mount Sacramento, wearing full cheesy Days of 49 attire. Their wedding party followed them, also on burros. The wedding march was played by the Oakland Firemen's Band. They looked down at an audience of 10,000 people, and they said their vows on the top of this phony mountain at Days of 49. And everybody cheered. The whole mining camp cheered. And they got their free trip to San Francisco. So, good deal.
And their lamp.
And their lamp. Very important. So what else was happening in town? Oh my gosh. So businesses along K Street. I don't have a picture of those out right now, but go back on our Facebook page previous days and look for those pictures. Businesses on K Street put up these facades, really cheesy facades, like an eyeglass repair shop said, "Get your specs fixed." Like just the cheesiest signage to all go along with the theme. What else? There was a rodeo at the fairgrounds. One of the stars at the rodeo was a world champion bucking cow named Milkshake. Tom Mix made an appearance at the rodeo. He participated in a chariot race and drove a really fast car around the track because, you got to keep with the 49er theme, right? Anywho, so what else do we have here? Oh, parades. Okay, so there were contests for everything. There was a contest for the best float. Here we have Bruners, their entry into the float contest. I believe they won 3rd place. I don't know what that is, guys. We suspect it's like a chute of some kind. There's like shiny things at the bottom. Maybe that's gold.
We're taking suggestions.
Yeah. I don't think it's a horn of plenty. Maybe it's a horn of plenty. I don't know. Some kind of hydraulic mining doodad, perhaps? I don't know.
Giant sluice.
A sluice.
Flume.
Sure.
Can you slide through it? We don't know.
People liked it. 3rd place, I think. Bruners. Good job. So, 200,000 people from around the country showed up to this thing. The police force got a little nervous. They needed some additional officers to help with crowd control and traffic. So, guys, so here's another collection we had to pull from to get more information about Days of 49. This folder is from the City of Sacramento City Council minute records. So we're able to look at the City Council records and see what they were meeting about in 1922. Oh, look! Oh, my goodness! What were they meeting about? Well, the Chief of Police, Barney McShane, there's his actual signature, you guys. He wanted some more police officers. So they put out the call for officers. Over 150 applied, and they really wanted to hire guys with a military background. And so out of that over 100 applicants, he went through and picked 70 or so, 76. He picked 76, did a little research on these 76 guys, found that they had no connection to the KKK, very important. Side note here, at the time, the city manager, our first city manager, Clyde Seavey, was staunchly anti-KKK. And a few weeks back, look at our Facebook, we did a little post on Clyde Seavey, kind of a historical dreamboat, guys. He put a list of city workers, city employees in the newspaper, and all of these folks, he really pushed for them to be fired. because they had a connection to the KKK. So go back and read the Post. It's a good one. We like Clyde Seavey, anti-KKK. Barney McShane was on that team too. He didn't want anybody associated with the KKK on his force, and he definitely didn't want to hire any new guys that were associated with the KKK for this event. So these 76 gentlemen were all with military backgrounds. They were given badges and then told to wear their military uniform. So here we have a letter from Barney McShane recommending a specific, here's a list of guys, recommending these guys to work the event. And it was just a week-long job, guys, just for a week. They were paid to be special police. Now, there was a problem, though. On day 2 of the event, I found in the newspaper that one of these special police officers, William D. Tyler.
William.
I know, William. He was arrested for being drunk on the job.
But it was Prohibition.
I know, it was Prohibition. So Mr. Tyler, he was arrested at 4th and K. His star was taken away. They brought him in. He was wandering about in an intoxicated condition and uttering threats against the government.
Oh my.
I know. He was put in jail. So, for the most part, they weren't volunteer. For the most part, the special police officers seemed to work out okay, except for that one guy. Anywho, so my favorite part of Days of 49, my favorite part, was a whisker contest, a beard contest, a facial hair contest. Now, they thought, okay, well, we have all these great events happening. There's parades, there's rodeo, there's a mining camp. It's just going to be great fun. We need more. We need more. We need something that'll make national news, something that's so weird. It'll bring people and garner attention from all over the country. So they came up with a facial hair contest, and it really started, well, it started the summer before, getting publicity out. But here we have in the newspaper, this is a bound volume of the Sacramento Bee. Now, guys, if you want to read old issues of the Sacramento Bee, all you need is a library card, guys. All you need is a Sacramento Public Library card. You can read this, okay? But here we have a paper print bound volume. This is Sacramento Bee, Friday evening, March 17th. This is St. Patrick's Day. Here we have some city officials getting publicly shaved outside the old post office, the pink post office. This was so they could participate in the facial hair growing contest, and the person who had the longest facial hair, if he was certified clean shaven on St. Patrick's Day, he could participate and in the contest in May, when the event happened, if he had the longest facial hair, he would win $49. $49. So they were all clean shaven by their barbers, and the barbers had to sign off. So in addition to the beard growing contest, they also put out the call nationwide for the longest beard. And 2 gentlemen traveled to the event. Here they are. These are our contest winners, guys. Now, we just found this photo this past week. Just found it this past week. Now, our 2 contest winners, this shorter guy here, he was declared Crown Prince of the Whiskerinos, and his name was Zach Wilcox. He was from Carson City, so he didn't have to come that far. Zach was a quirky guy. Zach was that guy in town who would ride his bike around town with a parrot on his shoulder. He was that guy. And Zach's special for all those reasons, but he's also special because before his death, in his will, he left his glorious beard to the Whiskerinos. It's said that he had never shaved in his life, and he wanted his beard to go to the Whiskerinos, to come back to Sacramento. So a few years after all of this, when he actually passed away, that's what happened. And the coroner shaved off his beard per his wishes, and some Whiskerinos went to Carson City and picked it up and brought it back, and there was a parade, and this has not a lot to do with Days of 49, but it's a fun story. There was a parade, and it ended up at Sutter's Fort because the curator of the museum at Sutter's Fort was a Whiskerino, and he put it in a glass case. And that's all I know. Hey, Sutter's Fort, State Parks, do you have a beard in a box somewhere? It's possible. I don't know. So anyway, this other guy, this tall guy, his name was Hans Langseth. And Hans was from North Dakota. He was a circus performer. So he was a showman, and he showed off his beard. Came on down to Sacramento. He was declared king of the Whiskerinos. Hans was. Other fun artifacts we have this little pin. Look at that. Sacramento Whisker Club.
I just want to tell you that a member of the Minor Flats has just joined us.
Well, hello, member of the Minor Flats. We're going to see them later for a fun musical treat, guys. So here we have, and again, this is one of the photos we just found this week. This is a photograph of a meeting of the Whiskerinos. Now, notice the lack of facial hair, so I'm thinking this is early on. Now, do these banners hanging from the ceiling look familiar?
Wait a minute. Yes.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
What?
It's the ones that we have.
Oh my goodness.
Cool.
And this was not donated by the same person who donated that photo.
Man, archives are cool.
Man, it's cool. So I love their little hats. We see city manager Clyde Seavey.
I'm showing the eye patch guy.
Oh, Kim's favorite.
And then these two guys are my other favorite. Just pals.
You know, hanging out.
Clyde.
There's our buddy Clyde Seavey.
It's kind of being weird.
Uh-oh.
Ah.
Standing next to Clyde is Harry Diggles.
Oh, Harry.
Harry Diggles was the chairman of the event. He was the head honcho in charge of Days of 49. Now under here, we have a little pamphlet issued by the Chamber of Commerce. After the event was over, it was just a kind of a backpat congratulatory to us document saying the publicity was worth millions and they got tons of press and aren't we so great? What a great event to have. So we found that. Again, this donation was not related to anything else that you see here, just a bunch of random stuff. Over here we have some stationery from the Whiskers Club of Camp 49. Now, did the Whiskers Club, did the Whiskerinos continue their activities after Days of 49? Yeah, they did. This stationery is from after the event. Clyde Seavey had left by the time this stationery was used, and the new chief Whiskerino was a judge named E.C. Hart.
And is there a Whiskerinos collection?
There is a Whiskerinos collection, but we don't have it.
Who has it?
The Sacramento Room.
Oh, right. Go
I
Sacramento
know.
Room.
I'm jealous of the
I know.
Sacramento
I am
Room.
too.
I know. Okay, so what else is going on here? Here's a fun cartoon. This was printed in the newspaper. When was this in the newspaper? May 27th, 1922. Here we have the grand review of the Whiskerinos. We'll tell the world with whiskers. Remember the whiskers, and whiskers we trust. This little funny idea for a Whiskers Club and a whisker growing contest took on a mind of its own, guys. It was enormous. So much so that the Whiskerinos sent honorary membership cards to bearded members of Congress and the King of England. What else is in the newspaper about the Whiskerinos? Well, this is going to take a minute, sorry. Gotta be careful. Keep going. Stay with me here.
Love your careful turning of these pages.
Thanks, Kim. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my gosh. 20 pages at a time, right? Okay. La 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 la. All right, here we have fast forward to April 1922. There's Clyde Seavey. There's Zach Wilcox. Whose whiskers will win? Beard growers to report on house crops. I love all the different ways that the Sac Bee talked about whiskers. So I loved it so much that I wrote down all the ways that the Sac Bee talked about whiskers, and I have a list. Great. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Luxuriant chin adornment, facial crop, hairy triumph, hirsute adornments, hirsute. The grossest one, cootie garage. The Sac Bee actually printed the words cootie garage. And then they described faces aglow with the pride of beards. So, oh, the guy who won the growth contest, his name was C.C. Bennett, and he, in 2 months, grew 1 inch and 1 inch, a little over 1 inch.
I don't know if that's
beard
good
growth
or not.
I know. I don't know.
As not having a beard, I'm not sure.
We don't have a reference for that, guys. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Okay. So, this is one of the coolest things that's on the table right now. Now, Kim, what can you tell us about this?
Okay, well, this is a poster from the police department that I discovered a couple years ago while processing the police department's collection. And I didn't know about Days of 49, so I had no context of what the heck this was. All I knew was that there are all these cops looking kind of weird. Like, here's Clyde Seavey, the city manager, but they're all like kind of dressed like cowboys.
Here's the chief of police.
There's the chief of police.
Barney McShane.
You know, they all look a little, there's Max Fisher, who we love. He is responsible for most of our mug books that we have. So they're all like kind of dressed like old school. It says Days of 49, but I was quite sure it was not from 49. And then, of course it has the date down there, 1922.
Right. So
I was just really, really confused about it. And then I put it away and didn't look any further into it until like a couple months ago when Staci became really obsessed with this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And she started talking about Whiskerinos and Days of 49. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds so familiar. And then I remembered this poster and went and found it for her. And it also features James Marshall because, of course.
So what did police officers actually look like at this time? Like, you could see the same hat in a few of the pictures here. This was just a costume hat, probably sitting in a basket next to the chair where you took your picture. So here's what we went through, and Kim has processed this Sacramento Police Department collection, so it was really easy to find these pictures. Here we have, and all these guys are identified. We know who every one of them is. Here is a picture of Sergeant Maley, George Maley. Oh, here's what he actually looked like in 1924.
Looks
professional, all right. Here we have what Sergeant Maley looked like for Days of 49. We have another fun example. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of my favorite goofy guys on this
Someone said one
chart.
of them looks like Bill Berg. Oh my God, it's this one, isn't it? He looks a little bit like Bill Berg.
The chief?
Yeah.
Bill Berg, you look like the chief?
Like a little bit.
Now, okay, here's another officer, Mike Canati. Here's Mike.
Kind of a dreamboat.
There's Mike right there. And then what was Mike's facial expression?
Oh, Mike, what happened?
Oh, Mike.
Hi, sorry, technical difficulties.
Sorry, guys, we're back. I just wanted to say thanks. And thanks for everybody who's watching and supporting the Center for Sacramento History and Archives Crawl. And everybody go to our Facebook page. Go to the Archives Crawl Facebook page. We have tons of local institutions posting amazing things. You can get the inside scoop at lots of places that you can't visit right now because of the pandemic. So check everybody out. Thanks so much for commenting. And yeah, that's it. Thanks. Oh, Kim, let me show you really for a second. So, bye, Kim.
Bye.
Nice mustache.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye, guys.